So, in my last video I went through the lottery picks from the 2020 NBA draft and assigned a grade to each selection a year later based on how successful of a pick it seems to be in hindsight, and in that video I received a lot of comments requesting a video where I continue on that topic, but I finished the entire first round, so today that's exactly what we'll be doing. We'll start with pick number 15 and go all the way down to pick 30, grading each pick 1 year later. One thing I'll say is that this class was actually pretty strong top to bottom, so if you're expecting a bunch of bad grades, you'll definitely be disappointed, because there are a lot of good players. Before we start though, it turns out about 62% of you watching right now aren't even subscribed to the channel, so please, if you enjoy the content, consider hitting the subscribe button, as not only does it help out a ton, but I would also very much appreciate it. Now, with that being said, let's begin. So, since we left off at the end of the lottery in the last video, we'll pick things up at pick number 15, where the Orlando Magic selected Cole Anthony, and the grade for this pick is a B+. Cole, like most point guards, struggled early on in the season, then an injury set him back in the middle of the year, but when he returned, he finished strong and saw his production across the board go up. He looked comfortable and confident after getting inserted in the starting lineup. He averaged about 16 points and shot 39% from 3 over his last 17 starts, and he showed he's not afraid of the moment by knocking down a few game winners as well, so he was definitely a solid addition outside of the lottery. Next up at number 16, Isaiah Stewart was selected, then traded to the Pistons, and the grade for this pick is a B. Stewart got plenty of game time for the rebuilding Pistons this year, and he made a name for himself in their rotation with his hustle, intensity, and non-stop motor. He crashes the glass hard, creates second chances, and thrives around the rim. He'll definitely be a solid member of the NBA rotation for many years, as long as he continues to play with that kind of effort, and his budding three-point shot could expand things even more for him down the line. Up next at number 17, Aleksej Pokusevski was selected and then traded to the Thunder, and the grade for this pick is a B-. Poku is one of the most intriguing players in this draft class, but the fact of the matter is that he still has a long way to go before he actually becomes a reliable and consistently impactful part of a rotation, and his game is still incredibly raw. Players like this can either boom and become dominant, or they can fizzle out and fail to live up to the expectations, which is why it's so hard to grade him right now. He's basically a 7-footer with guard skills, so even though there's no guarantee he reaches his potential, he could end up being a worthwhile project. Next up at number 18, the Mavericks selected Josh Green, and the grade for this pick is a C. Green found himself on a team with a set rotation already, so he really didn't get all that many chances throughout the year, but what he did show is that he's already a capable NBA defender out on the perimeter that will earn minutes down the line because of that. Offensively though, he struggles to impact the game because he's not much of a scorer, he's a mediocre spot-up shooter, and not really a creator, so at the very least, if he develops a 3-ball, he could become a 3-and-D guy. Next up at number 19, Saddiq Bey was selected, then traded to the Pistons, and the grade for this pick is a strong A. Bey was one of the best rookies all season long, having made the most threes of any rookie this season, playing impressive versatile defense, and being one of the best all-around players in the whole class. The one thing he'll need to improve upon is his ability to score inside the arc, because he did show some promising ability to operate around the post, but his overall finishing around the basket will need to improve, and it should further down the line. Next up at number 20, the Heat drafted Precious Achiuwa, and the grade for this pick is a B. Achiuwa is another rookie that happens to play for a playoff team with lofty goals, so unfortunately he fell out of the rotation at the end of the season, but long term, he should definitely provide solid value to the team's frontcourt. He's another big man that provides versatile defense, he runs the floor hard in transition, and has a very high motor, and with the Heat's developmental staff, he should be contributing in no time. Next up at number 21, the 76ers selected Tyrese Maxey, and the grade for this selection is a nice A-. Again, Maxey happens to play for a team with the best record in the East, so he was oftentimes on a short leash as he experienced his rookie growing pains, but unlike other rookies that fall out of the rotation as the playoffs approach, Maxey is actually forcing his way into the rotation for more big minutes. His ability to create offense off the dribble and finish strongly at the basket gives the Sixers a secret weapon of sorts, and as his jumper continues to develop, he has a chance to be a highly impactful scorer in this league, as he showed earlier in the year when he nearly scored 40 points against the Miami Heat in a game. Next up at number 22, the Nuggets selected Zeke Nnaji, and the grade here is a C-. Nnaji struggled to get on the court for the Nuggets this season, and while he did knock down his threes at a reliable rate, the sample size is way too small to make any substantial judgments. With how talented this draft was, it was a decent pick, but not necessarily a good one. Up next at 23, Leandro Bolmaro was drafted and then traded to the Timberwolves, and because of the fact that he did not come over from Europe yet, I can't even give this one a grade because there's nothing to grade from him. Next up at 24, RJ Hampton was drafted then traded to the Nuggets, and the grade for this pick is a B+. Hampton showed off impressive athleticism this year, he's a budding shot creator, and most importantly, he was used by the Nuggets to bolster a trade for Aaron Gordon as he got shipped to the Magic at the trade deadline. In Orlando, he got more of an opportunity to show what he could do, and he definitely looks promising. Up next at 25, Immanuel Quickley was selected and then traded to the Knicks, and the grade for this selection is a strong A. Quickley could make the case for being one of, if not the biggest steals in the draft this year, being taken near the end of the first round, while also being one of the best players in the class this season. He's a shifty guard that has a nice floater, finishes well around the rim, and shot 39% from 3, all being incredibly impressive for a rookie. He's been the spark plug for the Knicks at times off the bench on their ride to the playoffs and will continue to get better and better over time. Up next at 26, the Celtics drafted Payton Pritchard, and the grade for this pick is a B+. Pritchard earned a way bigger role immediately than anyone could have anticipated for the Celtics, and he did so by shooting the ball incredibly well from the perimeter. He made over 41% of his threes, which is impressive for any NBA player, let alone a rookie, and he even embraced some secondary ball handling and playmaking duties at times as well. Up next at number 27, the Jazz selected Udoka Azubuike, and the grade for this pick is a D. Azubuike really hasn't been able to earn many minutes at all this season, and when he was drafted, the concerns about whether or not he would fit the modern NBA were already there. He's a good rebounder inside, but I'm not sure he'll ever be a capable enough defender or offensive contributor at the NBA level. Next up at number 28, Jaden McDaniels was selected and then traded to the Timberwolves, and the grade for this pick is a B+. McDaniels was viewed as a project pick at the time, yet this year, he was actually one of the most impactful players on a struggling team that needed it. He brought very impressive, versatile defense, and offensively, his ability to shoot the ball was way better than advertised, so he was a very strong pickup at the end of the first round. Next up at number 29, the Raptors drafted Malachi Flynn, and the grade for this pick is a B. Flynn, like most rookies, struggled with efficiency as a scorer and shot-creating guard, but what was important is that he showed the flashes of potential to be very good in this regard throughout his career moving forward. He's a confident shooter and has a tight handle to create space off the dribble, so I think he'll be a reliable member of the rotation sooner rather than later. And finally, the last pick of the first round was Desmond Bane, who was drafted and then traded to the Grizzlies, and the grade for this pick is a strong A-. Bane is probably the very best shooter in this entire draft, and he earned a big role on the young Grizzlies team because of his sharpshooting. He made over 43% of his threes on the year, ranking amongst the best in the league, and if there's one thing that will never lose value in the NBA, it is shooting. And with that being said, that's all I have for you today. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below what grades you would give all of these picks. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.